Good evening and welcome to the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center here in Philadelphia for the 2024 U.S. Women's and SL Green U.S. Men's Championships. We have a great semifinal evening for you today. My name is Dent Wilkins. I'm here with former world number 3 and world champion with the English team, and now lucky enough to have here at U.S. Squash as our senior director, Linda Oriani. Linda, welcome. We're in for a great evening of squash.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. I'm so happy to be here. I'm really looking forward to the 4 matches we have tonight here on this wonderful glass court. I think we're going to have some really close matches ahead of us here.
We've got a men's semi, followed by a women's semi, followed by a men's semi, and another women's semi. I think semifinals is one of my favorite evenings during any tournament because you're guaranteed to get a bunch of great squash.
I agree.
No exception to that this evening. So we're going to kick off this evening in our first match, rematch of the U.S. men's semifinal from last year between best friends, Spencer Lovejoy and Timmy Brownell. They may be goofy off court, but really great competitors on court. That'll be followed after that by Olivia Weaver, our number 1 seed, and Maria Navani, our youngest competitor, only 18 years old, jumping in. The second men's semi, which is also a rematch of last year's men's semifinal. Andrew Douglas, last year's champion, taking on John Kahn, and then capped at the end of the night with a great match we expect between Maria Stefanoni and Sabrina. Linda, are there any matches that you're really looking forward to tonight and things you can't wait to see?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great matches there. I know that Andrew and Shah's match went to 12-10 in the 5th last year, so I will be very interested to see how that match goes. I know that they've only played once before, so I'm interested in that one. And I suppose on the women's side, I think that Sabrina and Marina, because they've only played twice and it's 1-1 in the head-to-heads, and they played in May and it went 3-2 to Sabrina. So I think that's going to be a tough one, and it'll be really interesting to see who comes through that match. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to those.
Yeah, as we said before, we've got some of the same on the men's side. It's an exact rematch of the 2023 semifinal matchups. But on the women's side, a lot of new. The last 7 champions of this event on the women's side, which are Olivia Blatchford-Klein and Amanda Sobey, aren't playing in this event. So we're going to have a new champion, with the exception of potentially Sabrina, who did win this championship before. But Olivia Weaver, our 1 seed, she made as high as number 4 in the world this year, currently world number 6, the favorite, but I think it's wide open. So, and now Maria Navani, 18 years old, making her first semifinal debut at this U.S. Championship. So I'm just really excited to see how it plays out, and we should have some fun. So our first match, as I said, we've got Timmy and Spencer. So how do you think, or what should we look forward to in that? Let's get a little primer.
I mean, Timmy has just come back from the British Open and had the best tournament he's ever had. He's the first male US player to make the quarterfinals, I believe. So that's an amazing achievement. But obviously, when you've just got back from such a big tournament and then you have to go straight into another tournament, it's sometimes quite hard to back it up. And even though Timmy played fine last night, you could see maybe he was a little mentally tired, but he did an awesome job of coming through still. So whether or not that just got him back into the swing of things, and he'll be all right with Spencer, we'll see. But Spencer's awesome because I feel like, one, he plays his best almost in nationals. Like, he seems to really feel at home here at the Specter Centre because he trains here all the time, and he just retrieves so well. So I think if Timmy's a little off with his shots, because he has such an array of shots, that he plays a little off with that, and Spencer's finding his targets and his lengths, and he's retrieving really well, I think it could be really close.
Well, Spencer took him out last year in a great semifinal, and I think we're in for a good one. So that's our first match. We're going to look forward to it. We're going to send you down to the court to introduce the players and get us started. We will be back with you in just a couple minutes for the kickoff of the 2024 U.S. Championships. Please stick with us. We're in for a great night.
Right.
If you've considered hip replacement surgery but have concerns about taking If you've considered hip replacement surgery We provide comprehensive education, so you'll know exactly what to expect before, during, and after surgery, including safe, effective pain management. Our expert surgeons offer multiple treatment options, including robotic joint replacements, and we'll work with you to choose the best one for your unique needs. It's time to take the next step. Have concerns about taking the next step? Let us ease your mind. At Penn Orthopedics, we provide comprehensive education, so you'll know exactly what to expect before, during, and after surgery, including safe, effective pain management. Our expert surgeons offer multiple treatment options, including robotic joint replacements, and we'll work with you to choose the best one for your unique needs. It's time to take the next step.
You may not be a pro, but at Penn Medicine, you and your knee, or your shoulder, or your ankle get the same exceptional care we give pro athletes and their mascots.
last 32 and the last 16. So you have 2 matches that first day leading into the quarterfinals the next day. So it really condenses the schedule a bit, and it definitely changes the mentality to some degree, because you really have to make sure you get through that first day very quickly and keep yourself very physically fresh for these latter stages.
These are, compared to some of those pro events, there's bragging rights here too, right? I mean, that's a big deal. Once you're a U.S. champion, you for the rest of your life walk around with that title as having been a U.S. champ. So, there's a lot to play for, and we've seen that transition into some of this next generation over the last couple years. Seeing Timmy win it in 2022, and then Andrew Douglas last year taking the title in 2023. You're seeing a little bit of that pivot from, for so many years, the dominant forces in the game. Individuals like Julian Illingworth for a long time, Todd Harrity, yourself, Chris Hansen. So it's been fun to see some of this next generation. Maybe not as fun for you, now you got to play all these young guys, but it's been fun to see them start to take center stage.
No, absolutely. This next generation you're talking about, Dent, is starting to really establish themselves. Timmy Brownell now inside the top 30 in the world. Spencer Lovejoy pushing towards the top 50, and Andrew Douglas and Shahjahan Khan both floating right around that 50 mark. So they're starting to get into the meat of their careers and really establish themselves as the favorites in these home national events.
Looks like we are about ready to go here. Our first men's semifinal. This will be followed by women's semi, and then the second men's and the second women's semifinal to cap off the night. So thank you all so much for joining us. We are ready to go, and let's see where we end up.
Well, I think we could have some pretty lengthy encounters here in the early goings. I think we're going to see Spencer Lovejoy really trying to absorb a lot of the pressure from Timmy Brownell.
Yeah, they're in that moment. You're going to feel some nerves in your legs. It's a big match, semifinal against your friend on your way trying to compete for a U.S. title. So, they both want to settle into that rhythm. Can you talk a little bit, Chris, about the difference in style between these two? You mentioned Spencer's going to look to lengthen and absorb, and Timmy's weaponry. Can you talk a little bit about how each of these approaches differ between the two players?
Yeah, well, Timmy Brownell just exceedingly gifted with the racket, very fluid technique. He's starting to get a lot of success at some of the bigger events on the PSA World Tour, and his confidence is going up exponentially, while Spencer Lovejoy, a little bit more of a physical specimen, relying a little bit more on his physicality. He tries to extend the rallies, tries to take the sting out of his opponent's legs before he attacks. So it's a little bit more of a patient approach from Lovejoy. But I think a lot of it's going to be if Lovejoy can get Timmy Brownell consistently out of that central T position and into the more extreme areas of the court.
It's tough to do against Timmy. Quite tall, quite lanky, very good just getting on that volley, taking the ball early. So it's a tall task to make sure that you're actually hitting quality length, getting it over him, and able to push him into the backcourt so he's not able to use the weaponry we're seeing a little bit of here.
Yeah, it was a very good performance last night in the quarterfinals from Spencer Lovejoy against Todd Harrity. Todd Harrity, another player exceedingly gifted with the racket in terms of his attacking squash, and Spencer Lovejoy really took all the sting out of his attacks, really slowing the game down and absorbing a lot of pace. That's a good rally there from Lovejoy. He really worked Timmy Brownell around the court systematically and just patiently waited until he wrong-footed Brownell. It's clever there from Lovejoy, whipping in the boast. Those quick little shots that come off the sidewall into the front wall can be quite effective on these glass courts sometimes. The walls just absorb so much more of the pace and it stays exceedingly short.
You can see even early in the first game, both players willing to open up the court a little bit, willing to attack, change the pace. As you said, the glass court absorbing the pace of that ball a little bit, and they seem both willing to press the attack and not just totally settling off the beginning with length. Oh, that's good width from Timmy. Excellent rally there. Both players attacking into the front right, but Timmy just finding good enough width to get around Spencer's racket. I think Spencer's got to be careful with getting in too much of a shot battle with Timmy. Timmy's so talented and smooth with that racket work that Spencer's going to want to straighten him out a little bit and make sure that he's keeping Timmy behind him, as you said earlier.
No, absolutely. He really needs to hit the targets, Spencer Lovejoy, here, because Timmy Brownell is just so effective changing the pace on the ball, taking the ball in short, and if Spencer Lovejoy leaves the ball too short around the service box, it just leaves too many options for Timmy Brownell, and that can start to become a lot of work for Lovejoy to cover all of the attacks. A little bit like we saw there, how just left the ball short, and Timmy Brownell managed to really expose him quite effectively in that front left corner.
Both these players training here out of the Spectre Center, and you can see, Spencer's movement has always been quite strong, but all of that work that both these guys are putting in, they're able to absorb a lot more than they could have a couple years ago. So Timmy's such a smooth mover out there, but I think underrated now in the amount of speed and the ability to get on the ball early. It's helped push him up to that top level, as you said, now cracking the top 30 in the world. Oh, it's a beautiful ball. There's that boast you talked about again, Chris. Stays really short on that 17-inch 10 on the glass court.
Yeah, and we see the little fist pump there from Brownell. It just shows how important these points here in the middle stage of the game are. Brownell really recognizing that getting that 2-point cushion here in the middle just gives him that little bit of breathing room that he needs to be a little bit more fluid with the racket and attack.
Chris, it's interesting. I think Timmy's unique in that with some lefties, you may want to really attack that right wall, but Timmy is quite dangerous off his backhand on the right wall, so it can be tricky if you try and spend too much time over there. He has a lot of weaponry that he can attack, even when it's above his head, with the amount of height he has in his racket work up there.
Yeah, no, he's a very clean striker of the ball, has a very nice natural hold in his swing. I think with a lot of left-handed players, people get stuck in, let's just attack the backhand, let's keep attacking that right-hand wall. And I think with playing against Timmy, it's much less about where you're attacking and the quality of your attacks. You need to be hitting quality lines. You need to be hitting into the side walls to take the volley away, just not allowing him space around the middle of the court to have time to change the different paces on the ball. Yeah, and this
Timmy
is
keeping the local Philadelphia doubles community happy with little Philly boasts there. Great kind of defensive attack into the backcourt, but showing off his racket talent.
Yeah, he's starting to really make the court really big for Lovejoy now. These next couple points, Lovejoy's going to need to find a way to slow things down a little bit.
Last couple points, Timmy taking a pretty forward tee position, feels really comfortable stepping forward and pressing the attack and not letting Spencer get it behind him. So Spencer's going to have to get him off that spot. It's a great ball.
That's the thing with these glass courts. If you get that width right, it can really sit down in the back corners. So from what looked like quite a cagey start, Dent, Brownell's really opened up quite a comfortable lead, and he's really finding his range now.
You've got to think, even if can't find a way to come back in this game, Spencer will still want to put some mileage in Timmy's legs at the end here and not just move on to the second right away.
No, absolutely. Spencer needs to dig in here. He can't just pack this in. He needs to send the message that this is going to be a really hard, drag-out affair. And he also needs to keep probing Timmy Brownell, finding ways to see where the chinks in the armor are. He hasn't really gotten into Brownell yet, and he hasn't particularly found an area that he's able to create a lot of pressure.
Unfortunate there. A little bit of outside frame mishit, but found the benefit of the doubt, and Timmy now with 4 game balls here in the first game of our opening men's semifinal. It's a nice rally by Spencer. Just as we said, putting a little bit of miles into Timmy's legs here and making him work to finish this game. There it is. Excellent little hold off the forehand side for Timmy Brownell. He takes a 1-game-to-love lead against Spencer Lovejoy in the opening semifinal of the 2024 U.S. Men's Championship. We're here all night, followed by a women's semifinal, our second men's semi, and another women's semifinal after this. So excited you're here with us. As I said earlier, I am joined here by 2013 U.S. Men's Champion Chris Gordon. It's a pleasure to be here at the Specter Center tonight. The crowd really enjoying this first match, and it's kind of an interesting semi, Chris, because we've got a rematch, as we said to the group earlier, of exactly the 2023 semifinals, including the second match between Shah Khan and Andrew Douglas, our 2023 champions. So these players certainly know each other's game really well, and trying to find those little strategic advantages to get over it. It's not like they're unknown quantity to any of them.
No, absolutely. There's certainly a lot of familiarity, and I think you're seeing that here in this first semifinal, because Timmy Brownell really not missing a beat right out of the gates, was playing very, very well, and he found a bit of daylight there in the mid stages of the game, getting that 6-4 lead, getting that 2-point cushion. And once he got that 2-point cushion, you saw him really start opening up the attacking squash and changing the angles and making things really difficult for Spencer Lovejoy.
I think Timmy has the advantage also of knowing how gritty Spencer can be, so he'll go out and be really focused in the second game as well, because he knows Spencer is going to fight to the end of this, and he will go out and try and put on a really strong beginning to the second to lengthen this match and not let Timmy run away with that. Timmy's such a strong front runner with his great racket work that Spencer's going to really dig in here and try and find a way to even this match at 1-all. No,
absolutely. I think the start of the second game is absolutely critical for Spencer. He can't let Timmy get his and if he manages to find a way to slow down the attacks from Brownell.
Spencer chose a shirt exactly the shade of blue of the sidewalls. He maybe could play a little hide and seek out there and try and have Timmy not know where he is on court.
Certainly want to be hiding after that drop right into the middle of the 10. Certainly not the way he was looking to start this game.
Is that my fault for building up how gritty he was going to be at the beginning of the second, and he wanted to prove me wrong here?
Yeah, it's a classic commentator's curse.
here by Spencer. He's keeping Timmy behind him. Timmy hasn't found his length, and leave that one open ball on that backhand, and there you go. Timmy's able to end it.
Yeah, it's just the subtle consistencies from Lovejoy aren't quite there. And Timmy Brownell taking full advantage.
Oh, that's a nice ball. Just drags that drop shot cross court. You can see Timmy in his rhythm too. Really likes to control the pace of the game. He's got a great ability to either speed things up or lift the ball, slow it down, change the rhythm of his swing a little bit. So you need to find ways to disrupt that rhythm if you want to damage Timmy. Just correctly guessed again.
Yeah, you really get the feeling here that Brownell's starting to slowly turn the screw. He's just making the court big for Lovejoy, making him do those hard movements. Yeah, it's a good squeeze there from Brownell, forcing the stroke from Lovejoy.
Great positive start here in the second from Timmy. Again, we've seen that, as you said, kind of a natural little subtle hold in Timmy's swing. Makes it really tough to read and forces you to kind of stay in your split step a little bit longer than you want. That little subtle change of timing is one of the things that's helped him kind of take that next step on the Pro Tour.
Yeah, no, his racket work is very, very good, Timmy Brownell. He finds ways to create a lot of pressure from situations where there isn't really a lot of room to hit into. And you just get the feeling that Spencer Lovejoy isn't quite hitting his targets in the back corners consistently enough, and it's just allowing Timmy Brownell to keep the pace pretty high and get on the ball relatively early. The only way Lovejoy's really putting points up on the board consistently here is with something that's quite special. Well, there we see.
Accomplished player and coach in her own right. She's been in Timmy's corner all the way through, and they've got a pretty funny dynamic together when you watch them out there together.
Yeah, she puts in the frequent flyer miles. She accompanies him to a decent amount of tournaments on the PSA World Tour. Was with him last week in Birmingham in the UK for the British Open.
Nice shot by Spencer here to take that early lead, erase that early lead in the second from Timmy. Very easily could have run away with this, so impressive by former Yale standout. Yeah, unfortunately just got caught in Timmy's swing there. It's got to be a stroke. Timmy unable to play from the midcourt. Loose ball from Spencer. Well, this is that mid-stage of the game where in the first game, Timmy Brownell was able to create a
little bit of separation and allowed him to run away with the first game. Spencer doing a good job here, sticking in these rallies, making things a little bit tougher physically for Brownell.
Just out there. Acknowledged by Spencer. It's great sportsmanship to see. Some great lines here by Timmy, just absolutely gluing the ball on both sidewalls. Important point here, long rally, really in the meat of the second game. Spencer with his own Philly boast.
They're really going for it here, Dent. They're really hacking the ball into those cross-court nick areas.
Yeah, punishing rally with both players having to work hard into the front.
It's a good change of pace there from Brownell, though. This change of pace has become very important on these glass courts when these rallies start getting really physical. And that was a big point from Brownell. We see the fist pump, very emotive. He's opened up that all-important two-point cushion yet again.
Yeah, what a brutal rally. That's the longest rally of the match so far. That was a big moment for Timmy. He knows what that meant. He's going to try and close the second now. We'll see which player comes out of that rally unscathed. That's been fun to see, Chris. You know, you known as one of the fittest players on tour for years, and now seeing these younger guys who, you know, have put in the training over the last several years, where a rally like that may have constrained their ability to really go hard for the rest of the game a couple years ago, but they've both been working so hard here at the Spectre Center that you can see their ability to just dig right back in and keep working hard.
No, absolutely. They're certainly becoming battle-tested pros, as we saw from the fantastic result last week from Timmy Brownell.
We have received information that Timmy is also growing calves. This is a new addition to his game that now I believe you can see on the screen. There are calves on both his right and left leg now, so it's a big moment for him in his career.
No, it's a big moment, and if he's managed to get to the top 30 in the world with barely any calves, it's going to be fascinating to see what the next stage brings with the calves.
Top 20 for sure with calf definition. Spencer can't let the second drift away. He's going to have to really lock in here, find a way to even match if he can. Timmy looks quite confident and relaxed out there, so a 2-love lead is going to be tough to come back from if he's able to find a way to get through this second. Oh, that's a big mistake.
That's certainly not what he was looking for. He had the whole court to hit into there. It was the right shot. Just forced the issue.
He's working so hard on his footwork when he's under pressure, and it looks like he just got a little flat there once he got the open ball and ended up pushing it into the top 10. All right, here we go. Timmy Brownell with 3 game balls here in the second game. First men's semifinal of the SL Green U.S. Men's Championship.
Yeah,
clever little counter.
Yeah, it was a clever little counter. He's got that top spin, side spin combination there. keeping the ball really short to the front wall.
Left an open ball for Timmy. Couldn't quite finish it. Timmy not giving up the midcourt though. Oh, good pressure from Spencer. Erases the second game ball. Only 1 point back now.
Yeah, it was a much better rally from Lovejoy, much more patient, forcing Brownell into those extreme areas of the back corners of the court.
Oh, gets the mistake. He opened up the court for Timmy and ended up getting the mistake off an open ball on Timmy's backhand. A little bit lucky there from Spencer, but he'll take it.
Yeah, well, he's certainly come roaring back here, Lovejoy. He looked in all sorts of trouble when Brownell had those initial game balls, but he's played very well here right at the very end of this second game. Just much more consistent hitting into the back corners, and it's opened up some attacking possibilities for him.
4 straight points here from Spencer. Has an 11-10 lead in the game ball here in the second game. Oh, and that's out. What a comeback from Spencer Lovejoy, taking the last 5 points of that game to even the match at 1-all. That was an important moment. We are here for the men's semifinal, the SL Green U.S. Men's Championship. Stick with us. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back here for the third game.
If you've considered hip replacement surgery but have concerns about taking the next step, let us ease your mind. At Penn Orthopedics, we provide comprehensive education so you'll know exactly what to expect before, during, and after surgery, including safe, effective pain management. Our expert surgeons offer multiple treatment options, including robotic joint replacements, and we'll work with you to choose the best one for your unique needs. It's time to take the next step. If you've considered knee replacement surgery but have concerns about taking the next step, let us ease your mind. At Penn Orthopedics, we provide comprehensive education so you'll know exactly what to expect before, during, and after surgery, including safe, effective pain management. Our expert surgeons offer multiple treatment options, including robotic joint replacements, and we'll work with you to choose the best one for your unique needs. It's time to take the next step.
You may not be a pro, but at Penn Medicine, you and your knee, or your shoulder, or your ankle, get the same exceptional care.
We are back here for the start of the third game, the SL Green U.S. Men's Championships. Spencer Lovejoy with an exceptional comeback there. He was down 10-7 on the verge of going down 2 games to love and found a way to win the last 5 points, even this match at 1-all. It's a big moment, big shift in momentum there, Chris.
No, it sure is. It puts the pressure squarely back on Timothy Brownell. He's going to need a good start here to this third game to try and regain the momentum.
What was your mentality when you'd have one of those moments where you maybe let an opponent off the hook a little bit? What would you focus on? Not that you ever let an opponent off the hook, Chris, in your 20-year career, but if suppose that did happen, what would be your mentality going on in the next game? What would you want to focus on?
Yeah, well, I think that was pretty much practically every match I played, so there was plenty of experience trying to get that momentum back. I think you have to go back on, you have to put it behind you, and you have to try and make the start of that next game exceedingly difficult. And in general, I know it sounds cliche, but you got to go back to basics and really hit the target so you can open up bigger spaces to attack.
You saw that really forward possession from Timmy, just completely controlling the court and had Spencer on a string for the second half of that rally. Seen the pace really go through the roof in these first couple points. Timmy really taking the ball early.
Timmy's definitely pushed up the court. I think the difference here is he's really trying to hit the back corner, and then once he hits that back target, really push forward and take the next ball very, very early to take time away from Lovejoy.
8-9.
Test, 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 test. All right, we are back here at the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center in Philadelphia at the 2024 U.S. Women's and SL Green U.S. Men's Championships. I'm Dent Wilkins. I'm here with 2013 champion Chris Gordon. We just had a great first men's semifinal with Timmy Brownell taking on Spencer Lovejoy and winning 3-1 to avenge his semifinal loss from last year. Timmy booking his place in the final and looking to add to his 2022 U.S. Championship. We've got our first women's semifinal coming up next. Our number 1 seed, world number 6, Olivia Weaver, taking on 18-year-old Rhea Navani, who's in her first U.S. women's semifinal. Chris, great men's match, and I think we're in for a treat. Kind of a established top world professional now against one of the up-and-coming stars in U.S. squash.
Yeah, no, this next women's match is definitely an interesting encounter. We have Olivia Weaver, who's established herself as one of the stars of the PSA World Tour, and Rhea Navani, one of the USA's top junior players, getting ready to represent the USA this July in Houston, Texas at the World Juniors.
Yeah, really the best season so far of Olivia Weaver's career. She recently made the semifinals of the World Championships and pushed 6-time champion Nora Sherbini all the way to a 5th game. Made it up to world number 4 recently as well, and as I said, now at world number 6. So her career just keeps taking the next step every single year, and she said she's been working extremely hard on the physical aspect of the game. She's always had that racket work, but to be in that top 4 level, you need to be paying attention to all the details, and she's really done that. So it's been fun to see her progress over the last couple of years, Chris.
No, absolutely. She's right up there in the highest echelons of the PSA World Tour, starting to make inroads against the very top girls, the Sherbinis and Gohars of the world. Not quite beating them consistently yet, but she's starting to make inroads, and that's the first step to climbing towards that world number 1 ranking.
Rhea Navani, I'm really excited to get a chance to watch her play today. We saw her playing nationals last year, and obviously at her age, only 18, she's just constantly improving. She'll be representing the U.S. the World Junior Championships this summer in Houston, Texas, and it's a great opportunity for her to gain some experience and be on a big stage against one of the world's best. So kind of a fun experience for a junior to really have no pressure on her and go out and just try and do some damage against one of the world's top players.
No, absolutely. This is certainly a pretty much a pressure-free situation for Rhea Navani. But in a lot of ways, it really is a fantastic opportunity, because in general, on the PSA World Tour, she wouldn't really be coming up against players of Weaver's. She'd be coming up against players of Weaver's class early in tournaments, the first round or maybe the second round. She wouldn't necessarily be playing them in the meat of the event in the semifinal stage. And when you get to play those very top players at the latter end of events, it's a little bit of a different feel, because they're obviously here to win, and they're no prisoners taken, as they say.
I think it's great to see a lot of these top U.S. juniors. You were a pioneer in a lot of ways and began playing pro as a teenager and early in gaining that experience on tour. You're seeing a lot more of that now with the top U.S. juniors playing PSA events on a regular basis. She had a great run at the Houston event in September, had her first win over a top 50 player at that time. So having that experience at this age sets them up well for success, both in college play, but obviously on the pro tour if they continue that career after.
No, absolutely. The idea of playing professional squash is becoming much more accepted here in the U.S., and you're starting to see it, especially on the women's side of things, with just how many players we're starting to develop and push, not only into the top 50 in the world, but the top 20, and now having several top 10 players as well.
And I think it's become obvious now on the Pro Tour that a playing college squash in the U.S. too is not a limiting factor to your ability to turn pro afterwards. You know, you look no farther than some of the stars on tour. Olivia Weaver right in front of us was a top player for Princeton all the way through. Amanda Sovey, obviously undefeated at Harvard for her 4 years. Ali Farag, the 3-time men's world champion, star at Harvard. So a lot of these players can continue that development in those all-important years in that 18 to 22 and come out the other side and play top-level pro squash. So big steps forward, and them getting this pro experience early and getting to play. You know, I don't know if Olivia was one of Rhea's idols, but I guarantee you Rhea's grown up watching Olivia and her career and on tour, and it's a pretty special moment when you're a teenager and able to get out with one of those players you've watched since you were little and didn't think you would ever maybe be able to be on court with them.
No, absolutely. It's a very exciting moment for Rhea Navani, and she's going to have to certainly weather quite a storm from Olivia Weaver, because Olivia Weaver is going to be looking to get through here pretty quickly. She wants to try and get through fresh for the final, and you have to remember as well, she does have the World Tour Finals coming up next week in Seattle, Washington. I think it's technically Bellevue, the Xbox World Tour Finals, actually. So she has quite a lot of squash coming up, coming off the British Open last week, so she's going to really want to limit the amount of time she's on court.
Yeah, and some of the offense that she can bring to bear and the pace she's willing to play at within this last year, especially, that you're not seeing a lot of that in the junior tournaments and even at the world level junior tournaments. So it'll be great to see how Rhea takes on that challenge. I know she'll be excited for this. And in Olivia's case, as you said, not only is she trying to get through and limit the amount of time on court that she's going to have to spend, so she's ready for tomorrow's final, but she's actually never won this event. She's been close. She's been up at the top. And she lost to Sabrina Sobey, I believe, in last year's event in the semis. And the event has been won in the last 7 years by two players who aren't with us at this event. Both Olivia Blatchford-Klein and Amanda Sobey, our many-time U.S. champion, who's recovering from her Achilles tear. And I will say it was really nice to see on this court a little bit earlier before the semis. Amanda Sobey was out there hitting balls, doing some training work, so she's getting closer and closer to her recovery and return. It's just nice to have her in the building and see that she's continuing to progress. But I think you're going to see Olivia Weaver on a mission to take down her first U.S. women's title, and the first step in that journey, or the next step in that journey, is taking care of business in the semifinals. So, Chris, let's settle in and see what this match has in store for us.
Well, for me here, I think Rhea Navani is going to really need to try and control the pace against Olivia Weaver, because we know Olivia Weaver is going to try and keep things really fast and frantic, really getting into those front corners very quickly and hitting with a lot of velocity. Well, that's clever play from Navani.
See a nice smile from Olivia there, impressed with the juniors' racket skills. Yeah, I think sometimes it's hard on TV to notice the pace differential with those top pros, but when you're out there on court and you're playing at that level, like the ball's just on you so much faster. They're taking the ball earlier, so she'll, as you said, want to potentially try and slow it down and make sure that she's not playing all the way at Olivia's pace.
No, absolutely. And a lot of times that pace you're referencing comes down to subtle differences in the tee position, just how far forward on the tee you are. They're not actually always hitting the ball all that much harder. It's just they're taking it quicker with a little bit more speed, racket head speed, and also they're just further up the court, so the ball's coming back that split second faster.
Multiply that times a couple of thousand shots over the course of a match, and it can really add up. A nice tight ball from Rhea Navani here. She does a nice job, actually. You know, she's down 2-4 in this first game, but done a nice job of weathering a little bit of that storm and trying to hit quality lines to neutralize Olivia's ability to attack.
Yeah, little bit of an edgy error there from Weaver. Just clipping the tin on the trickle boast. It's a little bit of a tricky situation for Olivia Weaver because she has to get that balance between being positive but not tipping over the line and being too aggressive and making errors.
Yeah, for a player of her caliber, it's really about keeping it simple, right? You know that on balance, your strength and the assets you can bring to bear out there are a little bit stronger than your younger opponent and someone who's still developing their game and their style. So, not overthinking it and going out and taking care of business and just doing the things you do well and not worrying about the situation or the moment too much. And a vicious backhand attack there. Rinavani keeping it close here. Just an early 5-4 lead for Olivia Weaver. Olivia, obviously a local favorite here, Chris. Grew up playing squash at the Philadelphia Cricket Club and went to college just up the road. So, she'll have a lot of friends and family here in the audience. And she's had some amazing performances in this venue at the U.S. Open as well. Some of her breakthrough matches, including a first win over Amanda Sobey and some good deep runs in the U.S. Open. So she's very comfortable on this court and obviously loves playing in front of the home crowd and getting a little bit of support and backing behind her as she's playing here at the Spectre Center.
Well, she's starting to really settle in here, Olivia Weaver. She's starting to look very, very comfortable. She's just way out ahead of Ria Navani on the tee. And it's that bit of separation in terms of the movement that's just making things somewhat comfortable for her right now.
It's a great point, Chris. I think it's good for the audience to watch that tee position. Just pay attention to their feet for a couple points and don't even follow the ball and watch where they're both willing to stay and how organized Olivia's footwork will be with her split step and that forward tee position that you pointed out. Great ball striking there from Liv. As you said, looking a little ascendant. Taking an 8-4 lead after Rinavani had evened up the game at 4-all. This is a little bit more of the performance that Olivia was expecting of herself and wanted to take care of business here quickly in the first game and capture the lead. Chris, what have you enjoyed over the last couple years in watching Olivia's continued development as she's now become one of the top players on tour? What has she added to her game and continued to clean up that's allowed her to take that next step and as you said, be challenging every player in every match for a win?
Yeah, for me, it's two basic things that are big things. It's cleanness of the hitting. She's doing a lot of work now with her coach, Rodney Martin, and we all know what an amazing striker the ball he was. And it's really translated into Olivia Weaver's hitting. The hitting's just so dynamic, so direct, and so powerful. And her movement is a lot sharper. She's getting on balls very quickly and really taking time away from her opponents with her movement onto the ball.
We have a 10-5 lead here for Olivia Weaver in this first game of our opening semifinal in the U.S. Women's Championship. Olivia believing that ball earlier was out on the front wall, but she'll go back to work here. And there it is, first game, 11-5 to Olivia Weaver. But Chris, I was actually quite impressed. I thought Ria Navani did a nice job of not, getting outclassed right at the beginning of the game. It'd be so easy as you're nervous and the younger player, and you know the quality of Olivia. So I thought I was quite impressed with Rhea and her ability to get out and steady things out at the beginning of that game.
Yeah, no, there was great variety in the shot selection from Rhea Navani, and we saw a couple times where she really wrong-footed Olivia Weaver with some lovely racket work. She just struggled a little bit as the game went on to withstand the pace of Olivia Weaver. But she certainly wasn't overawed, and there was some real positive signs from Rhea Navani.
As we mentioned earlier, Rhea representing Team USA at the World Junior Championships this summer in Houston. It's pretty cool to, if you imagine 25 years ago, and if I told you, Chris, when you were in juniors, sorry, I don't want to date you. If I told you when you were in juniors, 15 years ago, is that better? We'd be at a point where we're here watching nationals and the National Squash Center, 20-court squash center, and the World Juniors was going to be in the U.S. in Houston, Texas. It's amazing, kind of the evolution the game's gone through, and pretty cool to see its continued development with LA 28 and the Olympics coming up in a few years.
No, absolutely. The evolution here in the U.S. has been absolutely jaw-dropping. And I think the thing that's amazing is just how it's grown on so many fronts. It's not just like one section of the game has grown. The entirety of the game has grown. Like 25 years ago, you would have thought, oh, okay, maybe the college game will grow, but the professional game won't grow as much just because there wasn't that much interest in it per se. But everything's grown. And now with the Olympics coming up in LA 2028, you'd imagine that it's only going to grow more and more rapidly.
Yeah, it's a great hook, and it'll be fun to watch this is the first time where they're playing the team championships at World Juniors, both for the boys and the girls at the same event. Usually it used to alternate year on year, so great to have that happen in the U.S., and there'll be a lot of home support, a lot of momentum in the Houston squash community, and I know a lot of people traveling in from around the country, so it'll be fun to watch our girls and boys compete out there, and Rhea will be helping to lead that girls team, which has big aspirations. They want to make a run at that world title, and they're now one of the easily best teams in the world, and have finished right up at the top the last several events. Really, ever since that kind of generation of Amanda Sobey and Olivia Blatchford-Klein came through, our junior girls have been right up at the top. So, and now you see the outgrowth of that with us having a bunch of the top players in the world like Olivia Weaver. So, nice little wrong foot there. So, anyways, we've got a little the current and the future of top U.S. women's squash that we're able to watch here.
No, absolutely. I think it's been very impressive, especially on the junior girls side, just how consistently we've churned out top junior girl teams in the world. And it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. Just a real pipeline of young women playing the sport here in this country and playing the sport at a very high level.
Pushing each other, you've kept continuing to. Oh, there's one junior squash moment there, Chris. Fire the serve.
Yeah,
a lot of our fans at home will appreciate that. Makes them feel a little bit better about their own squash games.
Yeah, I was really excited for the lob serve there. It was an adventurous option, and then it just completely massive letdown. But it's a great line there from Rhea Navani. Just taking full advantage of the loose ball from Weaver and really finding the correct way to shot there to get the ball to stick in the back corner.
We're going to see another lob serve here, Chris. Oh, no, kept it in. All right. (4-3) here in the second game for Olivia Weaver, up 1-0. just down there. A little bit edgy in the beginning of both the first and the second game here. And, Rhea's acquitting herself well to keep these games close and keep the pressure on Olivia Weaver a little bit and not let her just get run over by the top pros. So very impressed with her mentality and just kind of positivity she's taken in the beginning of each of these games.
Yeah, no, it's been a great performance so far from Rhea Navani. She's found some ways to create pressure on Olivia Weaver. And I think it's more just as the games have gone on and the durations gotten longer, she's just not quite managed to stay with her physically, which is understandable with Olivia Weaver being one of the top players in the world and obviously playing at an absolutely ferocious pace.
You go, Chris. You were talking about pros paying attention to their serve and, getting a couple free points. Service winner there. Now you can see the pace of attack and Olivia wanting to put her stamp on this match.
Yeah, she's really finding her range here, Weaver. She's being very clever, making the court very big for Navani and really upping the intensity of the hitting, taking time away from her younger American compatriot.
All right, Olivia finding her way close to the end of the second game here, 9-4. Smart by Rhea, just taking an extra second or two, taking a deep breath. The pace is going to feel different when you're playing one of those top world players and don't get that chance very often. Here we go, 10-4. Game ball for Olivia Weaver here to take a 2-game-to-love lead. Oh, just missed it. Good pressure there, but superior experience of Olivia Weaver having her find herself a 2-games-to-love lead in this first women's semifinal at the 2024 U.S. Women's Championship here at the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center in Philadelphia. You can see Olivia trying to find her range here. She'll be happy to have settled in a little bit again in the second like she did in the first, and she's well on her way to booking her place in the final as she pursues her first U.S. Women's Championship. Chris, thanks for joining me. It's nice to have you here. You're, how many, do you know your number of U.S. Championship appearances? What number was this year?
In terms of appearances, this would probably be 23, maybe 22.
It's pretty impressive, especially for a young guy like you.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a lot of appearances. I like it, and to talk a little bit about as we alluded to the significance to these players of that U.S. title when you got through and you had gotten close multiple times and you were up in a great generation of those top players. Julian Ingworth had won so many titles at that time. It was so tough to beat one of the best U.S. men's players ever. When you punched through, won your first U.S. title in 2013, what did that feel like? What did that mean to you as someone who's represented the U.S. so well for so long?
I think for me, it was actually just a big relief because I'd lost in a couple finals already, and obviously you'd mentioned how Julian Illingworth was so dominant, so it was one of those where he was ranked so far ahead of the rest of us that it was like, are we ever going to really be able to catch up and get that title in? And then on top of it, I was coached by Richard Chin, who had lost in 5 finals as well during his career. So I think by the time I actually won one, we played like 9 finals between the two of us and only had 1 win.
Well, Richard's made up for it with numerous U.S. Masters titles over the years, so he's still as fit as a lot of these players you'll see out here over the course of this tournament. So pretty cool to have a coach with that kind of level of experience and someone who brought you up through the ranks in New York and has been. But yeah, that that generation. I think we were all excited too. You know, Julian, as you said, was so strong for so long, but guys that have represented the U.S. for a long time, like yourself and Chris Hansen, to see you guys capture those well-deserved titles was great, and you know, important in that generation to showcase just, you know, the commitment that you guys have made for so long, and what you had meant to squash the United States in general.
No, absolutely. I think you always want a little bit of variety on the trophy as well. When it's always just one winner all the time, it's almost like you lose a bit of the storyline and the excitement going into some of the matches, where when there've been a few multiple winners, there start getting to be some juicy encounters. So, for instance, you know, and Shah Jahan Khan and Andrew Douglas is a repeat of last year's semifinal, and for instance, if Andrew Douglas somehow comes through that, you have two former champions taking on each other in the form of him and Timmy Brownell. So it makes a exciting storyline.
When we're back here at the beginning of the third game of this first women's semifinal, and you know, Olivia, as we said, is one of those names that is not yet on this trophy, and has been one of our top women's players for years now. So you know, she's really going after that, and would mean so much for her to come through on her home turf in Philadelphia and be able to capture this title. It's been really fun so far, this match, to watch Ria Navani, West Coaster, up-and-coming U.S. junior, only 18 years old, and it's a big moment to make your first semifinal in one of these events, and just be able to book that experience and know that, you know, we'll be seeing her for the next decade or more, likely, at this event, and hopefully with her name on the trophy sometime. So this is a fun little generational matchup here between these two, and the established pro against the up-and-comer, and just a real honor and pleasure for us to be able to watch these semifinals tonight. I just want to quickly let our audience know we've got two more semifinals coming up after this. We have the second men's semifinal between Andrew Douglas and Shahjahan Khan, and then we have our nightcap match, women's semifinal between Marina Stefanoni, I believe only 21 years old, up and coming as well, one of our best players for a long time, one of the most decorated U.S. juniors of all time, and now has had an exceptional career at Harvard, taking on Sabrina Sobey, past champion of this event, exceptional top world player herself, who's our number 2 seed. So we're in for some great squash continuing on tonight. We hope you'll stick with us. Right now you're watching Olivia Weaver in the third game, looking to book her place in the women's final. Taking a little bit more control of this game, Chris. She's up 6 points to 1. You can see that pressure just building a little bit too much. It's tough to keep up. You know, when you're working on finishing up high school, and Olivia's waking up every morning deciding how she's going to get better at squash that day. So you know, this is a great learning experience for Ria.
Yeah, no, it's been a great accounting of herself here from Ria Navani. She's played really well, and it's like you say, it's just the subtle differences and the pressure just mounting up over the space of, you know, half an hour, 40 minutes, and Olivia Weaver just in full control here.
It's a great effort there by Ria, taking a lot of balls up. Eight one in the third here to Olivia. Looking very positive in the third game, shaking some of those cobwebs off we may have seen at the beginning of the first and second. Well on her way here, the U.S. Women's Championship final. All right, 9-2 here for Olivia Weaver.
I think this is pretty close to the ideal match for Olivia Weaver to set herself up for the final. She's come through relatively quickly, but she's had pushback from Navani in the early stages of the game, so she's had to be sharp. She's had to play at a pace, but it won't have taken too much out of her physically for tomorrow, Dant.
10-2 match ball here. Hard work for Navani up into the front court. And there it is, Olivia Weaver through 3 games to none in this 2024 U.S. Women's Championship semifinal. A big congratulations to Ria Navani. Really cool to see her in her first semifinal at only 18 years old. We're going to see a lot more of her in the future, and best of luck to her, the World Championships this summer. But Olivia Weaver through. She will play the winner of the second semifinal between Marina Stefanoni and Sabrina Sobi. Congrats to her. We are going to be live with you back for the next 2 semifinals coming up several minutes from now. Stay tuned and stick with us. Thanks so much for joining.
audio effect. That was for us, and we got it. That is UHD. So we're rebooting right now. We're in the middle of it. There's still no stream audio. Oh wait, perfect. Stream audio is back.
All right, good evening and welcome back to the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center in Philadelphia. We're here for the semifinal night of the 2024 U.S. Women's and SL Green U.S. Men's Championships. We've already had our first two semifinals with Timmy Brownell overcoming Spencer Lovejoy in a tough 4-game match in the first men's semifinal. We just watched Olivia Weaver beat 18-year-old Ria Navani 3-love in the first women's semifinal. Those players on and their opponents will be decided in the next two matches. And here we have Andrew Douglas taking on Shahjahan Khan, followed immediately after this by Marina Stefanoni and Sabrina Sobi. This match, a rematch of last year's semifinal, in which Andrew Douglas came through 12-10 in the fifth, an absolutely incredible match. Booked his place in the final, and Andrew went on to win the 2023 SL Green U.S. Men's Championship for his first U.S. Men's title. I think we're in for another good one today. Two great athletes out there. You can see already they're going to bring the pace, get into each other's legs, and they know what could be in store for them after last year's amazing 12-10 match in the fifth. Tough opening rally, great length there, left wall. Andrew Douglas take the first point. Andrew, local favorite, grew up, played at the end of his junior career in New York City, but went to the University of Pennsylvania just down the street here from the Specter Center. He's the #1 for all 4 years there, 4-year All-American. Continued to grow his squash career during his time at Penn. Actually was a gold medalist at the Pan American Games in Lima in 2019, early in his career at Penn, and been several years on the Pro Tour now. Top-ranked player, and as we said, the 2023 SL Green U.S. Men's Champion. Both these players living and training in Philadelphia here at the Specter Center. And as you can see, both pretty ferocious ball strikers. They're both going to look to keep the pace high early in the match here. When they do attack, it's often going to be quite aggressive and with a little bit of speed. By taking the ball early, as you see from Andrew here, getting in front, applying pressure. Another quality length on the left wall, just like the first rally. A nice, very positive start here for our defending champion, Andrew Douglas. There's our first point for Shah Khan. Great long rallies at the beginning of the match here. Both players trying to get into the other's legs early on. Shah, 29 years old. He's now more than 10 years on the Pro Tour. Our 2 seed here, number 50 in the world. He's been as high as number 25 in the world. Was last year's semifinalist in that 12-10 match and lost to Andrew Douglas. Nice attack there, acknowledged from Shaw. Andrew Douglas continuing his really positive opening start here. Andrew found really early success at this tournament. He's only 25 years old now, but was the runner-up in this event in 2017 and 2018. Very earlier in his career, so clearly matters for him, cares about that national title representing the United States, and finally got his first U.S. title last year in 2023. Positive attack there from Khan. Nice little view of Shaw's foot speed into that front corner, covering easily that working post and applying pressure. Quality length there from Shah Khan, weathering the early storm from Andrew Douglas, now taking a lead 4-3 early in the first game here. Our second Green U.S. Men's Championship. Yeah, it's interesting. Quality success here. Andrew taking 3 of his 4 points so far with just great length down that left wall. He'll look to keep exposing that if he is able to see the success that he had there. And Shaw turning him the wrong way. Great pace with that cross court. Dying, giving him no chance to take it off the back wall. Both players relatively relentless with what they're bringing so far, and I think they probably both have memories of both a lot of tough matches they've played training in the same city, and they played plenty of times, but certainly from last year's 5-game battle at 12-10 in the 5th, where they know how tough that was, and they'll be looking to gain a little early advantage with pushing the legs and movement of each other at the beginning of this first game. Really tight lines throughout this entire rally from Andrew, especially on that left wall. Right as well, you're just seeing really quality straight length so far. Beautiful retrievals and recovery from Shaw, that great foot speed of his. Another absolutely brutal rally here. So many long points beginning of this first game. Only at 5-4, but both players putting in a lot of work so far. And there's the first loose ball. Andrew gaining the stroke there. I'm Dent Wilkins here at the Art Inspector U.S. Squash Center. I am fortunate to be joined by former world number 3, world team champion with England, but now longtime, really U.S. squash celebrity, I would say. Developed top juniors, ran an amazing program out of the Heights Casino and others throughout. So Linda Oriani, senior program director here at U.S. Squash. Linda, it's great to have you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's great to be here. This is turning into a good match already, isn't it? 5-0 in the first.
Yeah, been some really tough long rallies so far. Both players establishing length, and a lot of the points have just been won with quality length in the back. A couple good holds and dying cross courts from Shaw that have ended up in the back, and Andrew with some really quality straight length, especially on the left wall. So it'll be interesting to see as the ball slows down a little bit over the course of the match if they both begin to open up the front court that much more. But relatively high quality air-free start here.
Yeah, they're both being pretty patient, aren't they? As you said, it's flying around a bit at the moment, but it will die down a bit as we go on.
Linda, you've got a lot of kind of long experience here. Oh, look at that. Oh, a little beautiful fake by Andrew Douglas, just swinging over the drop and then playing it again. Stop Shaw in his tracks there. It's a don't try that at home type shot for our club players.
Yeah, you have to get onto the ball incredibly quickly to be able to do that. Oh, touche.
There you go. Left the serve open. You see Andrew pointing to the sidewall. Just remembering the basics. Don't leave that open ball. And a lot of mornings you can arrive at the Spectre Center here and see Shaw practicing those cross-court nicks solo. So you know that he's looking for opportunities to fire him in. Linda, you've got a lot of experience, knowing Andrew since he was relatively young. And, he was a top junior in Brooklyn when you were there. Did a ton of work with Lorana Oriani, with your husband as well, and with you. So, kind of cool to see him. I was just saying earlier that he had really early success at this tournament, being a finalist as a teenager multiple times. And then so now kind of in his mid-20s now and coming off his first U.S. title last year. I think he feels very at home and comfortable with this event. And what an amazing match these two had last year. So we're in for a real treat, I think, in the second men's semi.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, no, I think he was literally, he was a high schooler, and he beat Todd to get through, I think, both times to the final. So it's amazing to be that young and get through to the final.
A really positive start here for Shaw, though. I mean, she's never made the final of this U.S. Men's Championship, and finds himself up 9-7 in this first game. I think that positive start is really important for him after narrowly losing to Andrew last year, but really positive start for him. But Andrew's an incredibly gritty competitor. He'll certainly never let you off the hook. Well, Linda, I've said it. I've said he'll never let you off the hook, and he puts it in the middle of the 10. I apologize to Andrew for setting him up for that.
Yeah, that was definitely a little impatient. He needs to definitely be finding his targets in the back.
We're here with 3 game balls in the first game for Shah Khan, the SL Green U.S. Men's Championship. Been a really high pace so far, Linda. Both these guys have been smacking the ball around the court, and they're certainly not slowly settling their way in. They've been going from point 1.
Yeah, and they're using the whole court nicely too. No, it's very lively out there, so the rallies are going to be long. These two can keep focused and...
Shaw expecting a no-let, walking to the back door there, but the referee having other ideas. So a yes-let, determining that, yes, the ball was very good, but that Shaw didn't give Andrew a line to go and retrieve it. So let ball. We have another game ball here for Shaw, 10-7 in the first.
Okay, let's see if Andrew can get it back.
A nervy moment
for sure
here.
He will not be giving up. He's a fighter, Andrew. That's for sure.
Careful, Linda. The last time we said that, he buried it in the tin, so we'll see. But he did get a serve on the sidewall there. Didn't give Shaw the opportunity to fire it in. Shaw not afraid to be aggressive, and clearly Andrew not either. You see him, even though he's down, he's willing to fire it in. And Andrew seems to love to attack with that straight kill with pace. I think it's a especially in moments when you're a little bit nervous. Not having to feather in that ball is helpful. Oh, tough rally already.
Well, we saw quite a lot of comebacks in the last men's semi-final, so maybe the same thing's going to happen here by the looks of it.
Yeah, that earlier match with Timmy Brownell and Spencer Lovejoy, both of them, giving up some leads the end of the second game, the end of the third game, and Timmy coming out on top 3-1. He'll be waiting. Our 2022 champion, Timmy Brownell, will be waiting for the winner of this match. Andrew Douglas has pulled himself within 1 point here. We'll see if he can even and push this game into overtime in the first.
I'm sure Timmy's hoping they're going to have a match similar to
and there
last
it is.
time.
Linda, great finish there from Shaw. Had the line, had the angle, and absolutely buries the return of serve. Taking this first game in our second SL Green U.S. men's semifinal. Up 1-love. I think, especially having lost this same match last year, it's important mentally, Linda, for him to have that start. A really positive beginning for Shaw.
Yeah, it's so nice to win the first game when you lost to someone last time you played them. I'm sure Laurent's going to be telling Andrew to push up a bit more, take the ball a little earlier. Because Shaw can slot it in, obviously, if he's given half a chance around the middle. So just finding his length, taking it a little bit earlier, maybe picking up the pace even more. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what Laurent's telling Andrew. So we'll see what he does when he comes back out.
Linda, what were your thoughts? You were down by the court, got to see it in person. We were talking when that first women's semifinal with Olivia Weaver, world number 6, number 1 scene of this event, taking on, up-and-coming 18-year-old Ria Navani. And, obviously Olivia's pace and just level she's playing at right now is a lot to handle when, Ria's in her first semifinal. But, I think Ria got a lot of good experience there and actually acquitted herself quite well, especially in that first and second game.
Yeah.
She kept it close early. I thought it was an impressive performance by the youngster.
Very, very impressive. And the second game, till 4-all, she was with her. No, she was moving well. She was pretty patient. I mean, Olivia's experience just took her through those last points in the second. And then the third, she obviously got really into her groove. But no, Ria should be proud of herself, I think, that she pushed Olivia quite a lot in that match.
Do you have any memories? Obviously, you're a top player in the world for a long time, and do you have any memories when you were a teenager of a specific moment where you kind of got out there with one of your idols, one of the women who you've been watching growing up, and had a moment where you're suddenly like, wow, I'm out on court with her?
Yeah, I definitely played. Well, one of the first times I did that was when we had our Women's Super League in England, and I had the opportunity to play in a team, and I played quite a lot of our top women then. And you start off, you're very nervous at the beginning, and then in the end, you actually kind of feel comfortable on court with them, and you realise that they're just another player, and you don't have to give them too much respect. And that's what Ria will find as she's playing these PSA events. She'll just go on and be another player. She won't get intimidated. It's all good experience in the bank.
Then you get a little older, and you realize that sometimes the older players are feeling a little nervy because the last thing they want to do is lose to 18-year-old Linda Oriani, who's working her way up through the rankings, right?
Totally.
We're just sinking our teeth into the beginning of the second game here. Shaw taking an early lead, but you're going to see Andrew, I think, really dig in the second game. He doesn't want to give Shaw the run. He wants to keep the pressure on, knowing that Shaw has never made the final of this event, and certainly under pressure with Andrew feeling the pressure himself, being a defending champion. But, I think that Andrew would take that as positive, and will want to keep pushing, especially with his home college courts just down the road here at the University of Pennsylvania.
Totally. And I think the important thing is when you're the current champion, or like Shah, you want to get to the final because you've never got to the final. You've just got to not think about those things and just focus on every point as it comes. It sounds like an obvious thing to say, but sometimes it's not easy to do that. And I'm sure these guys are just trying to just get in the moment and focus on the game plan and follow it as much as they can. Like, I think Andrew needs to be a little bit more patient. It's great to take it in, but I think he needs to work those rallies a little more at the moment.
Yeah, it's tough, right? To make the main thing the thing. The main thing just being playing the next point well. But, you know, when national titles are on the line and that pride bragger, you know, it's different. We were talking earlier with Chris Gordon, but just the difference of playing in a nationals relative to, you know, playing in any other normal pro event that these guys are used to playing. And there's a little bit of that extra pressure. And sometimes you'll see some results that might not be expected if it was just out on the PSA Tour.
Totally. And there's something, you know, I think everybody feels very proud to represent their country or play in the national championships. So, yeah, I think you can totally, it feels different.
You know, of course, you had these two guys closely ranked, very close in level, so they know that they're in for a battle when they get out there with each other. There are no surprises between these two. They played each other plenty.
And they're really going point for point here. No one's really getting any particular lead. Oof. A long one. Oh, very nice end to that rally.
Ball. Yep.
He was very patient. He really did choose the right time to go short.
It feels like the most dangerous place to leave it for Andrew in a lot of ways. You give him that mid-court forehand. He seems like he has a lot of weaponry, and we've seen him already kind of adding the variance between either attacking into the front right. He's very comfortable snapping the cross court once you start sitting on that straight ball, and he hits nice lines off that forehand and creates a lot of space between him and the ball. So Shah's got to be very cautious whenever he goes into that area of the court with Andrew. He's got tons of weaponry from there.
We're gonna stroke, do you think?
Oh, both players with their hands out. Both players saying, how could a call not go my way in this case?
Oh, they said let. Yeah, a few errors from Andrew.
Yeah, you can see the pressure with both players. You know, a couple, Shah put a cross court, normal cross court in the tin there. Andrew, that's a ball he would normally execute.
Yeah.
That's a nice attack there.
Yeah, nice and tight.
Good build of pressure from Shah. You know, it feels like we're still early in this game, but these are those really important points. They've been attached to each other point for point, as you said, and the outcome of these next few points, putting a match at 1-1 or 2-love makes a total difference for the rest. So you can see both players kind of upping the pace of their movement, understanding the importance of this little sequence over the next couple minutes here.
Totally. Oh dear.
He had it. That was his sweet spot. He's controlling from that right wall and just a little tentative on that post. And Shah's created a little bit of daylight here for him.
Yeah, ideally you never want to give your opponent a run of like 2 or 3 points. You want to always be getting it back on the next point if you can. Yeah, Andrew needs to find his length.
It's 3 of the last 4 points. I believe Andrew's made a mistake in that front left corner.
Yeah, he needs to get back to basics here. Ooh, no let, I think, there. Okay, Andrew needs to dig in now. No errors. Get Shah behind him.
It's a good positive call by the referee. Shah had kind of created his own interference with where he placed the ball and plenty of space and room where he needed to go get that next one. So it's good to see the referee, early in the match. We haven't had a lot of calls so far, but sometimes just a good basic call like that will encourage play throughout the rest of the match, because he's saying, you know what, you put yourself in a bad spot and you got to go get that next one. So calls like that help prevent matches from turning into a let fest. Because the players know they've got to play on.
And right, Timmy and Spencer's match was actually really, really good sportsmanship, wasn't there, in that match? There was really no dodgy decisions or blocking or anything. It was great. They both had such a good attitude. Yeah,
they're tough competitors, but a lot of respect for each other, and they always have pretty clean matches, even though they're absolutely grinding out there. So that was really nice to see, and we've seen the same so far in this match. Both players playing around and playing on. Look at that,
lovely, nice little fake down there on the
backhand.
We're all going over to the forehand then to get that ball back.
We're seeing some razzle dazzle already from both players.
Oh, that's a beauty.
It's a beautiful little cut.
Yeah.
And Andrew so often thrashes that forehand that I think caught Shaw off guard when he actually changed the pace and just really left it far up in the front.
Yeah.
Not an easy shot, down 9-7 and one love. And
no.
That was, I'm not sure there was a lot of margin of error. Is that one of those coach moments where you say, no. Oh, wait, good shot.
Totally. I suppose it's like anything, isn't it? There's nothing wrong with going for shots, but just picking the time or just feeling like your opponent's slightly off side and you can pick an area. It's when you're just going for the shots when your opponent's got that tee. Shah was sort of off, wasn't he, to the side, so it was a good time to do it.
Oh.
I think it might be a let now.
I believe they've just given the let there.
Yeah.
I think there's room to play. I think it's appropriate to not give a stroke there.
Yeah. Ooh, see, I thought he might have stopped there, actually. It's good, though, when players go through and play, though. It makes for much better squash to watch. And
you're starting to see...
See, that's a let, I think. He didn't have a line through. Looks like he got a no-let, though, no? Yeah, no let.
Yeah, no let. 2 game balls for Shah Khan there. The referee deciding that ball was too good. This would be monumental if Shah can find a way to pull out this game here.
Yeah.
Very important for him. If he can find that 2-love lead, it's a big hole for Andrew to work on climbing out of.
Totally.
Oh, and he's got the opening. Great retrieval.
Going short a lot, Andrew. I feel like I would be trying to get
Andrew a little heavier. That's a no let.
Yeah, he went short way too soon there, in my opinion, in that end part of that game.
And his movement began looking a little heavier there as well. I think some of that relentless pace from Shah maybe getting into his legs somewhat.
Yeah.
Great performance there from Shah Jahan Khan, our number 2 seed, looking to avenge his 12-10 in the 5th loss to Andrew in last year's semifinal. We're here at the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center in Philadelphia, watching the second SL Green U.S. men's semifinal match here. It's been a fantastic night of matches so far. Timmy Brownell, our number 1 seed, top-ranked U.S. men's player, 2022 champion, winning in 4 games against Spencer Lovejoy, who beat him last year, so Timmy avenging that loss. Our first women's semifinal, Olivia Weaver, number 1 seed, world number 6, beating 18-year-old Ria Navani 3 games to love as Olivia pursues her first U.S. Women's Championship. And it was interesting. I early on in that first game, Andrew, we were discussing, was having some success with especially his length down the left wall. His attack's been effective, but he feels like, as you say, he's pulling the trigger a little bit too quickly on that left wall, and Shah's triggering, getting up there on that backhand side, whereas Andrew's pace was really devastating early in the first game. It looks like he's gone away from that a little bit, and
Yeah.
I think he'll want to settle and reestablish that length and make sure he's pushing Shaw behind him at the beginning of the third
Yeah,
here.
he absolutely has to. If he keeps going short like that, then Shah's going to be in control of the match in this third game as well. So he's going to really need to find his targets in the back, push up on the tee a bit more, try and take the ball a little earlier. Only go short when he's really worked his opening, and if it means he has to hit 10 more shots, he has to hit 10 more shots.
It's a fine balance, right? You don't want to get too tentative when you're down. You obviously need to still play your game and be willing to attack and take opportunities when they're there, but you also sometimes just need to reestablish and get your feet back under you and
Totally.
not get run off. And you see actually there, even in the first rally, Andrew hitting a topspin backhand volley drop, and then opening up the court there again, Shaw takes advantage of it. That's
volley
little bit
boast
of
on the
start
return of serve is not really going to set him up well for this game, third game.
You wonder if Andrew was hurt a little bit, not injured, but just feeling a little bit physically after those two pretty tough games, because Shaw's really looking, up in the court, and Andrew, you can see the body language just a little bit down, and this could be over quickly if he doesn't find a way to stabilize out the current state.
I don't think he's hit one straight drive to the back of the court yet.
There's again.
Yeah. No,
you see Shaw moving quickly to the box, right? When you feel your opponent a little bit down mentally and physically, you're just going to move as quickly as you can and just force them to.
I don't know what's happening with Andrew. I don't know why he's going short off every single shot here. I wonder what's going on here. Never seen him do this.
You wonder if he is a little hampered physically, or if it's something bothering him, because certainly not what we're used to seeing from him.
No.
6-love here. Shah Khan up to a rambunctious start, and you see Andrew Douglas basically giving this third game away. So Shah 7-love in the third, well on his way here. See Andrew serving out there. Kind of an unexpected result here in the third game. Andrew Douglas not looking like himself, as Shah Khan is now only 3 points away from his first semifinal in this event. Or I'm sorry, his first final in this event. (10-2) match ball for Shah Khan. And there it is, a 3-games-to-love win. Two really hard-fought first games for Shah Khan. Came out on top and then rolled in the third. 3-love, booking his first final in the SL Green U.S. Men's Championship. Congrats to him. And that ends the run of our 2023 champion, Andrew Douglas. Congratulations to him on a good event. Obviously a tough day for him today. But that's a great win for Shah Khan. 3-love. He'll be really happy to have gotten through that without too much work. You can see the excitement there. He will be taking on number 1 seed Timmy Brownell, our 2022 SL Green U.S. Men's Champion. They will meet in tomorrow night's final. We hope you'll join us back here, either live at the Spectre Center or on our stream, to follow the match. And let's check in and listen to what Shah has to say after that great 3-love semifinal win.
In those first 2 games, you came through, they were tight right at the end, and you came through them. How are you feeling now?
Thank you all. I'm really happy with the performance, and thanks to Andrew as well for performing this whole week. And it's squash, it's the end of the season. Injury comes and goes, but I wish him the best recovery. I played. I'm happy that I pulled through the first 2 games, and which is really important. It could go either way. I was playing well, and I'm happy to get to the final.
So you've got to play Timmy Brownell tomorrow in your first final. How do you feel about playing Timmy?
I feel it's going to be a good show. We played so many times, practice plan and the match. I'm happy to be in the final and hope for our best match tomorrow.
Well, we look forward to watching you in that match. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well done. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Shaw. Great win for him. That concludes our men's semifinals, but we hope you'll stick around. We have a great second women's semifinal, one of the most anticipated matches of the night for sure. Sabrina Sobi taking on Marina Stefanoni. We'll be back for that in a couple minutes. Please stick with us for the U.S. Championships here at the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center.
You may not be a pro, but at Penn Medicine, you and your knee, or your shoulder, or your ankle get the same exceptional care we give pro athletes and their mascots.
If you've considered hip replacement surgery but have concerns about taking the next step, let us ease your mind. At Penn Orthopedics, we provide comprehensive education so you'll know exactly what to expect before, during, and after surgery, including safe, effective pain management. Our expert surgeons offer multiple treatment options, including robotic joint replacements, and we'll work with you to choose the best one for your unique needs. It's time to take the next step.
Our women's semi-final, we've got one player who comes from, he went to Harvard, she was the #1. She was basically a legend in the juniors. I think she barely lost when she was a junior and won pretty much everything. She's now turning pro. She's already 54 in the world. This is her 6th Nationals. Please welcome on court, Marina Stefanoni. And her opponent is 27-year-old. This is her 11th championships. She's number 15 in the world. She's based here in Philly. Please welcome on court, Sabrina Sobi.
Thanks for being with us. We are here for our final semifinal of what's been a great evening so far here in Philadelphia at the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center. This is the 2024 U.S. Women's Championship and SL Green U.S. Men's Championship. We've got a great match coming up for you here. Our number 2 seed, Sabrina Sobi, there in the black on the left. And then our number 3 seed, Marina Stefanoni, in the white on the right. Marina, currently star player at Harvard, one of the most decorated U.S. juniors of all time, now making her mark in the Pro Tour, knocking on the door of the top 50 in the world. Sabrina Sobey, one of the best U.S. women's players of this generation, 27 years old. Also a former star at Harvard University and our 2 seed here. Number 15 in the world, Sabrina Sobey. She's going to be a tall order today for Marina. Sabrina, past champion of this event. Marina looking to punch her ticket to the to the final. We're in for a treat to watch 2 fantastic athletes, both of them spectacular movers around the court, have the racket work to match, so you're in for a great match coming up. So far tonight, we've had 3 exceptional matches already. In our first men's semifinal, top seed Timmy Brownell getting back to the event he won, or the final of the event he won in 2022 with a 3-1 win over Spencer Lovejoy, good friend of his and the person that took Timmy out last year in 2023 in a hard-fought semifinal. So a little revenge match for Timmy to book his way into the final. In our first women's semifinal, we had Olivia Weaver, number 1 seed, number 6 in the world, get through 3 games to love against Ria Navani, only 18 years old, making her first U.S. Women's Championship semifinal appearance. Ria acquitted herself exceptionally well out there, got great experience, but the level of play from Olivia Weaver just too much. Found her way in 3-love into the final, where she will face the winner of this match. And the match we just watched on court, our second men's semifinal. Andrew Douglas falling 3 games to love to Shahjahan Khan. Shah booking his first place in this SL Green U.S. Men's Championship final. We should have a spectacular men's final tomorrow night. Timmy Brownell against Shahjahan Khan, followed by the women's final with Olivia Weaver taking on the winner of this match. Thanks for being with us. We're excited to have you watch some great squash. You're in for a good one. Sabrina Sobey, as we said, currently number 15 in the world. She's been as high as number 13. She's the number 2 seed here. She's the 2014 champion. Absolutely exceptional run 10 years ago, winning this event only as a teenager. She's also been a runner-up in 2019 and 2022. Marina Stefanoni, currently number 54 in the world. She's a 2023 semifinalist, has made the quarters several other times as well. Both these players medalists at the 2023 Pan American Games held in Santiago, Chile, representing the United States earlier this year. It'll be fun to see them, former teammates, out here today. And Sabrina, the only remaining player who's won this event. As we said, she won it in 2014, but Marina Stefanoni looking to book her first finals in the U.S. Women's Championship. And Olivia Weaver looking to win for the first time, already making her way to the finals earlier tonight. But 2 players who have been stalwarts in the finals of this event, Amanda Sobey and Olivia Blatchford-Klein, both not in the draw this year, opening the door for some of these other players to either win their first title or add to their list in the case of Sabrina. It's great to see Amanda out on court earlier today. She was on this very court, just getting a light hitting session. Her recovery from her second Achilles tear is going quite well. We saw her in the gym here at the Spectre Center earlier, doing a lot of testing, really progressing amazingly well. And then hitting on court here, just beginning to get back out. And, you know, she's salivating to be back in this event, be back on tour and be playing. So we'll be excited to welcome her back soon. And we're off here. Final match of the evening. Let's settle in, watch some great squash here between Marina Stefanoni and Sabrina Sobi. Yeah, really positive start from Sabrina here. Captures the first 2 points relatively quickly. It's going to be very important for Marina, it's the the less experienced player in this match, to make sure that Sabrina doesn't run out to an early lead here. Sabrina, knowing that Olivia Weaver is already through in only 3 games, if she gets through to the final, she's not going to want this to be an incredibly long match. Whereas if Marina can get into her legs, use her great athleticism, extend this first game or two, she'll position herself well to do some damage later in the match. But Sabrina continuing that early form, up 4-love very quickly here. I think we'll see Marina begin to establish her length a little bit. See if she can steady out this start. There's her first point, 1-4. A little unlucky there for Marina. Glued the ball on the sidewall, but Sabrina just scraped it off. Captured. Fortunate winner. And we're back here with Linda Elriani as well. I'm Dent Wilkins. Linda, Sabrina off to a rocket start, rattled off the first 4 points in about a minute, and now finds herself up 6-1. Marina struggling a little bit to establish her rhythm earlier in this match. I think we'll see her get there, but what a really positive start for our 2 seed so far.
Yeah, it's so great when you can get a lead like that when you start the match. You must be so happy, Sabrina. But look, when she's on, Sabrina, she's on. I mean, we've seen her have some really big upsets in tournaments in the past. So we know that she's capable of playing amazing squash. It seems like she's fully firing right now.
One of the favorite matches I've watched in recent years is her win over Hania El-Hamami on this exact court in the U.S. Open. And Sabrina, I'd say played out of her mind, but didn't. She played very much actually within her capabilities. She didn't do anything outside of her norm when she played that match. She just was moving incredibly around the court. She's obviously got beautiful squash technique out there, just the way she strikes the ball incredibly cleanly. And when she's positive and using all of her physical gifts and her ability to attack and use the entire court, she's a tough player to beat. So it's a tall order for Marina today, especially when Sabrina's in the form that she appears to be right now.
I think she's one of those players that's definitely capable of beating players quite a lot higher than she's ranked. I think there's some players who are ranked around her ranking who might not lose to people below them, but they don't have a lot of ability to beat people above them. But with her, I think she could, on her day, there's a lot of people above her that she could beat.
Shows nice variation there, attacking that point and then finishing with beautiful little lob into the back corner. Finding her way very quickly through this first game.
She made one error. I think she lost to Marina last year, and she only just won in 5 last time they played in May. So I suppose she's really up for this. I'm sure she's not taking it lightly at all, and really came on thinking, I've got to take it to Marina right from the word go, which is what she seems to be doing.
Well, Marina's one of those players. She won 72 U.S. junior titles over her time, and she. All the top players on tour from the U.S., women like Amanda Sobi and Sabrina and Olivia Weaver and these groups, like she's been on their radar for a long time. They're they're knowledgeable about her capabilities, and they will not come out softly in any of these matches because they know how strong she is and how dangerous she can be if they open the door at all. So obviously her career just beginning, only 21 years old, and we'll see a lot of her over the next decade, I think, as she continues her time in squash. But to a certain extent, it plays against her that she's been so good for so long, even in her young career, that she's not sneaking up on anyone.
No, that's true. They won't take her lightly.
All these players are going to have their radar up when Marina steps out there.
Yeah, I do think it'll be very interesting now that she's graduated from Harvard and she's really going to focus 100% on her squash. What that'll do, I think her game's going to rocket up even more.
Well, you can see there, Sabrina's got a specialized coach in her corner. Her sister Amanda, many-time champion this event, there working with her. Great to see her out there, and just what a positive start for Sabrina Sobey.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
11-2 through that game, in really only about 5 minutes. And, having seen Olivia get through relatively quickly, if she's able to continue this level of pace, she wants as much left in her legs for that challenge tomorrow as she can. But, I think Marina's not going to let it be too easy here. She's certainly capable of turning the tide and putting up a fight here. So you see there Amanda coaching Sabrina in the dark, a little secret coaching back there. Don't want to let anyone else know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm sure Amanda's going to be keeping her positive and keeping her focused for the next start of the next game. If she can get a good second game in, a bit like with Shah with Andrew, it does make a difference. There's Alex State there too. He works with Sabrina sometimes. I'm sure it's nice for her to have him in her corner as well.
Yeah, Alex State, great coach, working in the Philadelphia area. Just one of many. Such a plethora of riches we have on the coaching side of the United States now. We're really fortunate just with the caliber of coaches that we see coming through here have made the choice to be over in the U.S. and certainly you and your husband are being a piece of that puzzle. But we're really fortunate now with just the amount of talent that's around to help our young players develop, and it's part of what's helping, along with, of course, first and foremost, the incredible hard work of the players, but just that world level of experience that they're constantly receiving now is a game changer compared to what it was a decade or two ago.
Totally.
We're off here at the beginning of the second game of our second women's semifinal, the 2024 U.S. Women's Championship. Oh, it's beautiful. See how early Sabrina gets on that ball. That I like that when she's playing her best, she doesn't use her foot speed just to get into chase mode. Like, she will use it to get on that ball really early and apply pressure. You see her there just all over that shot in the front court and giving herself the option to play on offense.
Yeah. No, she's an incredible mover, Sabrina. Yeah, Marina's really going to have to do something a little different here if she's going to get into the match. She hasn't really had the tee once, has she really? She needs to pin Sabrina in the back and then she can take it in. She hasn't really had the opportunity because Sabrina's just playing so well. Yeah.
Yeah, she's playing, for lack of a better word, simple squash right now. Just hitting great lines, really quality length, and then taking the attack, simple attack opportunities once they're there. Just a pleasure to watch when she's playing in this form.
Totally.
One thing I like about both these players, Linda, is you feel like if they had taken any sport seriously when they were young, they would have been really good at it. You tell them, go out and be a soccer star. I think they would have done it. Be a lacrosse star, sure. You want me to swim the 200 meters, sure. So it's been fun to watch both of them as they've entered further on in their career, just what they can do with the hard work and the physical gifts that they possess, because they're both special athletes, and we've seen that throughout their careers so far.
You can see that Marina's getting stronger and stronger physically since she was a junior.
Right.
And now she's going to be a pro, probably even more so.
It's different, right? Taking that step to the pro game, like suddenly everyone's a good athlete.
Yes, exactly.
You no longer can just hit your way through people, run your way through people. So, you start adding all those other elements to the game, the little details that start making a difference.
It's like Olivia; she's got extra fit too, I think, in the last year. And that's really made a difference. Her movements, she's got really good movement now. She moves into the front really well. And those areas that she was good at before, but now she's taking it up a notch. And that's made it so much, when she plays someone like Noor El Sherbini, they can't expose her like they used to be able to.
it does so much for your confidence too when you know you've put in the work and you know you can stay out there and you know, not worry, oh man, am I working too hard in the second game and is that going to hurt me later in the match? Just say, you know what, I can go and play at the pace I need to throughout. And you add that to the ability to just not fall behind in a point, right? Get on the ball a little bit earlier, take the ball before your opponent's fully ready and at the tee. Like, all of that compounds over the course of a match, and it's the difference between, you know, even the top players in the world to those even the teens or the 20s. You know, it's just that consistency of movement and the consistency of selection of what they play and how detailed they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful little attack. I love that technique too. Simple, right? Like, really simple swing. Just place the racket on the ball and just then not trying to do too much.
Yeah. Yeah, Marina looks a little laid back even, but it's hard.
It's tough to know with Marina though, right? She is so steady emotionally. Like, you know, you never really see her get too high or too low. So,
that's true. She doesn't get emotional on court.
I think in some other matches that are close, it's deceiving for Marina's opponents sometimes too, because they think like, oh, is she uninterested or whatever?
Yeah.
She's incredibly locked in and an incredibly tough competitor, but she won't show you, you know, where she's at emotionally, and that's almost a weapon for her in her development as a junior and now in college, and then it will be in the pros as well as she moves forward. I mean, Linda, I expected Sabrina to be playing well and come out firing this match. I'm not sure I would have called 11-2, 8-1 at this point. She's been absolute control right now.
Completely. Yeah, she's really, I think she's made one unforced error. She's been hitting all her targets. She's barely hit any loose shots.
Wow, look at
she even got that back.
It's an amazing get. And
Yeah.
she returned it with interest as well.
Yeah.
You know, like, what a...
I'm sure Marina's thinking, well, that was as good a boat as I'm ever going to play, and you got it back. She must be wondering what she can do here. Yeah, she's a pleasure to watch when she plays like this, Sabrina. She makes it look so easy, and we all know it isn't.
Right.
Yeah, even a little hold there.
Yeah, real teach tape, I think, for a lot of the juniors watching out there. You know, just how, you know, players playing at their base, sometimes it just makes it a little bit more simple. You just keep doing the right thing over and over and over, and that pressure pays off.
Yeah, and sticking to it too, because it's easy when if you're up, like she's now 2-love up, to come back in the third and still keep this same pressure and same focus. Sometimes
Absolutely.
People can lose their focus because they're 2-love up, and it's been going pretty well. So I'm sure she will come back on focus, but it's sometimes easy to come back on and think, oh, it's done, but it isn't done.
Absolutely amazing start here for Sabrina Sobey. Taking 22 out of the first 25 points is absolutely stunningly good start for her. You can see, as Linda just said, how focused she is here. Looking to get back to the final again, the 2024 U.S. Women's Championship here at the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Marina does now. Whether she really comes out and gives it her absolute all, whether she'll mentally be feeling a little down after losing these two so easily, really. I mean, like I said, the last two times they played, one time she won, the other time she lost 3-2. So this is really quite shocking.
Yeah, you really have to find a way to reset and kind of throw those two games out of your brain and just say, you know, how can I play the first couple points as well as I can, and just begin getting my way into this match, because Sabrina's got that look in her eye that she's ready to go here. So
she does.
You know,
she's in the zone. Oh, she's not looking particularly happy as she walks back on the court. Let's see what she can do.
I mean, it's fair, Linda. I don't feel particularly happy when I've you know, lost the first two games in matches 11-2, 11-1. So I sympathize.
Yeah.
As we start the third game here of our final semifinal, I want to give everyone a little bit of a look forward to tomorrow. We've got both finals stacked one after another. 6:15 p.m. will be right here for the men's final between Timmy Brownell, Shahjahan Khan. Timmy coming through against Spencer Lovejoy in 4. Shahjahan Khan with an exceptional performance against Andrew Douglas, 3-love today. That'll be followed immediately afterwards at 7 o'clock by Olivia Weaver taking on the winner of this match between Sabrina Sobi and Marina Stefanoni. We hope you'll join us again. Obviously, always a special occasion when we get to crown a U.S. champion, and we may have some new ones tomorrow, or we may have some repeats. So we're in for some fun squash. Linda, I appreciate you being here and being with us, lending all of your expertise. A woman who's had over 100 appearances for England on the national team and former world number 3. We're really fortunate to have you. So thanks for lending your expertise to us tonight.
Oh no, it's been a real pleasure, and it's always so fun to obviously watch all this amazing squash that we have at the centre. I'm really excited for the finals.
Do you miss being out there and having your heart rate 180 beats per minute and figuring it out, or are you happy that time is passed now?
I'm good. I played for 16 years and gave it my all, so I'm happy to be on the other side of it now. I mean, I'm so happy I'm still involved in squash, and I'm loving being at US Squash and giving back to the sport that gave so much to me. So, I can't imagine my life not being around squash, honestly. I'm happy for them to be running around, though, not me, to be honest.
For those who don't know, Linda's son Jack, several-time U.S. junior champion. He's now, I think, taller than you, Linda. But,
he's way taller than me.
So we'll be seeing him in this tournament, I think many times in the future. Excited for that. Sabrina Sobi again here. Linda just off to a fast start, 3-love. Even her serve is good. She buried that serve in the back corner to open up that point. A 4-love start, and Marina, unfortunately, looking like she sees the writing on the wall here a little bit. Sabrina's just an absolutely exceptional locked-in form tonight. What a performance so far.
It's literally error-free, perfect targets, moving effortlessly. No, this is exactly what you want to do when you go on the squash court.
More people should use the strategy of hitting perfect length, devastating attack, and great movement. It seems like a really good approach to the game.
Like I said, she's making it look so easy. It looks like we could all go and do that, but we all know it's actually incredibly difficult.
I think Sabrina will be asking if she gets through this match if she can just play the final right away. When you're in one of these, one of these states and you're just feeling completely locked in, the last thing you want to do is not keep it going.
I remember sometimes playing like that, and you don't even want to come off in between games. You just want to keep the match going all the way through. Let's not have a rest. Let's just keep playing. Yeah, 6-love up. I don't see this changing round anytime soon.
Linda, this match looks like it could be over relatively soon. Really quality length there for Marina. Great to get on the board here.
Yes.
But Linda, we're going to send you down to the court just in case Sabrina's able to close this out. Thank you so much for joining us.
So fun.
Can we invite you back for the finals? Are you
Yes,
willing
please.
to come up and watch some great squash tomorrow?
I'd love to.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much, Linda. Stick with us for the end of this U.S. Women's semifinal.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh, just great attack there from Sabrina. 8-1. I'd say this is certainly one of the better performances we've seen at this event in a couple years. Not just from Sabrina, but from any player. She looks absolutely exceptional and locked in. If this pretends what we're going to see tomorrow, I think we're in for absolutely fantastic final. If Sabrina can close out these last 3 points, Olivia Weaver and Sabrina should put on a real show for the crowd here at the Spectre Center in Philadelphia. Great sportsmanship there from Marina Stefanoni calling the ball out on herself. Sabrina Sobey now only 2 points away from booking her place in the final. (10-2) here in the third game. Sabrina Sobey with match ball. Our number 2 seed. And there it is. Sabrina Sobey threw 3 games to love against Marina Stefanoni. An exceptional performance from her to get through very quickly in this second semifinal. She will face number 1 seed Olivia Weaver tomorrow. Let's go down to the court and listen in on our semifinal champion.
Thanks, that's generous. It's pretty abnormal, I say too. I feel like I tend to chuck a lot of things into the tin or out, but I really, like I said yesterday, like the season's nearly done, and it's just a matter of maintaining that focus as best as you can, and then hopefully like make it as efficient as possible.
Well, you certainly did that. And how are you feeling about playing Olivia tomorrow in the final?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think the growth of the squash has been tremendous, as everyone has been able to see, and unfortunately we will have lost 2 of our most notable players as well this season. Back soon though, and it's cool to be in the finals. I mean, I think I lost to Marina in the quarters last year, so
Yes.
just to make the final is cool.
But you've won it before, so maybe a second one is on the cards.
Yeah, I'm just going to try not to think about winning and just kind of enjoy the last match of the season.
Well, we really enjoyed your match. You played amazingly, and we look forward to seeing you play tomorrow. Well done.
Very good.
And there you have it. We are wrapped 4 great semifinals tonight in the 2024 U.S. Women's and SL Green U.S. Men's Championships. We will be back here at the Spectre Center in Philadelphia for the finals tomorrow. At 6:15 p.m., we will kick off with the men's final. Timmy Brownell, top seed, taking on Shahjahan Khan, our number 2 seed. And another 1 seed, 2 seed matchup in the women's final at 7 p.m. Olivia Weaver taking on Sabrina Sobey. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We can't wait to see you tomorrow. From the Spectre Center, I'm Dent Wilkins. Have a good night.
If you've considered hip replacement surgery but have concerns about taking the next step, let us ease your mind. At Penn Orthopedics, we provide comprehensive education so you'll know exactly what to expect before, during, and after surgery, including safe, effective pain management. Our expert surgeons offer multiple treatment options, including robotic joint replacements, and we'll work with you to choose the best one for your unique needs. It's time to take the next step.